All right, we're live. It's Hemp Your Health Tuesday. My name's Shane Mutter, President and CEO of Seed to System. We're live today from our farms in the fields on 130 acres of beautiful, pristine Colorado farmland where we farm for hemp and to make CBD products, as you are aware. This is our team. We have Christy Thiel, Director of Hemp Your Health every Tuesday. We have Perky Ujazdowski, who is our Director of Marketing, and of course Michael Maudie, our Director of Business Development. And so I wanted to kick it off. Thank you very much for tuning in, and here is the team.
Hi everyone, today's going to be an amazing event and a lot of information. We're going to get off so much the personal health benefits of hemp and CBD and go into Perky and Michael's areas of interest outside of CBD, because it's really fascinating. So, hi Cassandra, please participate. We want to know your questions. This is for you, so ask your questions. We're going to start with Perky. Perky.
Hi, Christy.
Hi. Perky's the director of marketing, but she has deep roots in the hemp industry that go into the environmental impact. So, Perky, how does hemp help the environment?
I'm so glad you asked. This is honestly one of my passionate topics. It's really the reason that I'm in the hemp industry right now, more so than just helping people with the CBD and getting it into our bodies, into our systems. It's also very, very important that we be planting hemp into the planet in general. So there's a couple of reasons why I say that. Number one, the soil. So a lot of people don't know the roots of the hemp plant are quite miraculous. And the reason I say that is because the hemp plant has a way to pull out toxins that live in our soils. So folks, even when we're eating really clean and we're eating organic foods, that means there hasn't been pesticides used on those plants, but it doesn't speak to the quality of the soil necessarily that those organic plants were planted in. So what I'm learning more and more about is micronutrients in the soil, and you can only have that when the plant is actually putting nutrients into the soil. So hemp delivers nitrogen, and are there other elements that you're aware of? I think it's mostly nitrogen. Delivers nitrogen into the soil, all the while it's pulling toxins like heavy metals and arsenics and things that we do not want to be putting into our system. It pulls it out. So this plant works in a two-way kind of delivery system, and I think it's miraculous. I mean, even to speak to that, I read an article, it's been a while so I don't know the exact science behind it, but the area where Chernobyl had the greatest impact of soil toxins, they've been planting hemp there, and they are seeing a big difference in pulling all of the heavy metals and just the nuclear waste out of those soils. So I feel like that in and of itself is really miraculous that the plant does that. Additionally, from an environmental impact, hemp does not require very much water. So this is huge. In case anyone hasn't noticed, we have a little bit of a water problem on our planet at the moment. And I'm gonna give the comparison of what we do with the paper industry, right? We use trees to make paper. Everyone knows that. Trees take about 15 to 20 years to grow, and that means 15 to 20 years worth of water and nutrients of the soil and everything that it takes to grow that. Now, to compare, you can also make paper from hemp, and they used to do that. In fact, I believe the dollar bills might have even been made from hemp.
Yep.
So what that means is per acre planted, you can get a lot more hemp into that land mass, and it only takes 4 months roughly to grow hemp plants. So you are saving an enormous amount of water and years and degradation of the soil. So, I mean, just from the soil and the water aspects, this plant it blows my mind.
We were talking earlier too about cotton, and cotton uses 25% of the world's pesticide use, and it destroys the topsoil. And hemp actually restores the topsoil and is a much more sustainable crop than cotton.
Yes.
this is cool. We're gonna get back to Perky because she has a lot more wisdom to share with us, and switch to more of the business development side of hemp. This is Michael Motti. I'm sure most of you know him. He's our Director of Business Development. Michael,
Yes.
you have your pulse on other areas of business development that hemp is going to lead. Can you share some of those areas with us?
I try to keep the best pulse that I can on it, but certainly we look at CETA System. We have, there's just so many different directions where hemp is going in the economy in different areas. So again, the business development, because it is such a new product, it's a new plant. It's there's endless possibilities. You can do so much with it, but from a recovery standpoint, my background is sports performance. So from a sleep standpoint, it just helps with so many different things. So you can imagine the consumer applications are almost endless. But from a business development standpoint, I mean, you see the market in hemp. There was a gold rush out here in Colorado where everyone grew hemp the last couple of years, and to the point where you could sell hemp for $50 a pound, and now there's so much of it out here that you can barely give it away.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's down below $5 a pound in some areas. So it's like this whole thing's kind of contracted a little bit from a market standpoint. But
do you think that we're going to see more hemp grown for fiber?
Certainly, yeah. I think it'll be more regional, probably, depending on the genetics. I mean, you'll have in more arid climates like Texas and different geographic regions will have different strains that'll be for different applications industrially. Whether they have, for the textiles, you'll have mattress and bedding. I think you'll have longer, thicker stalks, where you can actually take the textiles and the fibers from those plants, as opposed to short bushier, more buds type of plants. And this just all starts with the seed.
Oh, it
So
does.
This is again endless possibilities for what you can do with the plant here.
Endless possibilities and so much more sustainability, because hemp grows faster, it's stronger than steel, it's stronger than cotton, it actually continues to last longer than most traditional fabrics and materials, because we've got hempcrete, we've got cotton, we've got paper. I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about paper. Toilet paper can be made from hemp.
No, you wanted to talk about toilet paper.
All right, I
Toilet
wanted to
paper,
talk
that
about.
might be my department, but no, I'm kidding.
It's a hot topic lately.
It is.
Certainly. Well, there's plenty of hemp out here. You can make paper. They've been making paper out of hemp for hundreds of years, thousands of years, if anything.
Yeah.
That's I guess the #1 product.
Here's a fun fact for everyone. We learned this from Kim. What's Kim's last name?
De La Salle.
De La Salle.
Yes.
She sent us
Trout, Louisiana. Shout out. Kim.
Hey Kim! We learned from Kim that the word canvas actually came from the word cannabis, because they used the sails and the ropes from hemp. And so a lot of our American traditions actually have their roots in hemp, canvas and rope, and the military still uses hemp rope because of its strength and durability.
It's very true. They planted it along the interstate, the Eisenhower interstate system. They planted hemp during the wartime for national security efforts for raw materials.
It's true. Hemp could. Go ahead.
Let's also talk about the fact that anything made that we make into plastic right now can be made from hemp. Now, let me just think about that for a second, right? Let's all imagine how many products that we touch on a daily basis that are made of plastic. Now, again, talking about the sustainability piece, plastic, not so sustainable, extremely unsustainable. So using hemp for the ingredients of making all of these items that we're making from plastic is going to be a mind-blowing transformation on our planet. So I'm super excited for the technology and the machinery and the process that it takes to start making plastic from hemp. I know it's available, it's just not readily available. Seriously, just think about that for 30 seconds on how many different products we can now make in a sustainable fashion that we once were really ruining the earth to try to make. And especially now with COVID, you see that everything is individually wrapped in plastic. It's so crazy. So the single-use plastic situation has got to go. It's got to go. It's got to be replaced with hemp.
And we mentioned this last week about all the toxins that are in our systems, even if you're trying to avoid them. And plastics are mimic estrogens in our body, and babies are being born with them. And we know that we have a lot of estrogen mimickers. They come from plastic. So for many, many reasons, including health and to keep our bodies in our hormone system, we need to get rid of plastics for the fish, for the humans, for the planet, etc. So Michael, do you want to talk a little bit more how athletes are being benefited from hemp?
Certainly. We actually, I think that's how I got into hemp. First of all, was from I couldn't take Advil for my whole NFL career because I needed a safe alternative to anti-inflammatories, to Celebrex. I was hardcore anti-inflammatories for years, 10 years, 10 years, but 10 surgeries, was dealing with opioids after surgeries, and just didn't want to go down that route. So I was always, in terms of recovery, in terms of pain management, I had to find some sort of natural alternative. And for me, it was CBD oil as a full spectrum product, and I was guinea pigging products for years, literally years and years, to try and find that right kind of combination of what was good, and then not only what was good or what was the best, and then how do you make the best products, and then where do they grow? How do you get from hemp out here to a full spectrum? What is the full spectrum? What is, there was just so much verbiage that I had to learn and go kind of sort through. And from a pain standpoint, everybody who's an athlete deals with pain.
Oh yeah.
If you do CrossFit, you deal with pain. If you do, you're lifting weights or running, that's where inflammation. And then if you're dealing with recovery, that's the name of the game in sports performance. It's really how fast can I recover so I can train harder and then get faster results. So recovery is sleep, and then pain is the big things for sports performance, which I know that this stuff is shown to do and shown to help with. So
it's so amazing because this is actually where hemp does have a lot of benefits. It's the anti-inflammatory, the analgesic. It has the biggest side effect is health. And the longer you're actually on hemp, the deeper you can go back in time. So people sometimes ask, do I have to be on this for the rest of my life? No, but do you want to be preventing things that come out of inflammation? And I actually have a list. I wasn't going to talk about this, but now that we're kind of on it,
we're on a roll.
We're on a roll. If you are concerned about how much inflammation you have in your body, you can do a simple blood test called CRP, C-reactive protein. And if that's high, hemp can actually help, and it helps with age-related macular degeneration. That's in the eyes, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, arthritis, cardiovascular disease. There are tons of receptors around the heart. Cognitive decline, that's again neurodegenerative, depression, mood. There's so many receptors. We know that there's been studies done on hemp's antiviral properties with HIV, and that's pretty important to know about. Now there's more and more information coming out about how it's working with our immune system, like Shane mentioned. Before we wrap this up, and we'd love to hear questions from you guys, particularly for Perky and Michael. This is your opportunity to get personal and dig in, so type away and we'll kind of just keep talking here, but ask us questions. We want to hear from you. It's more exciting for us to interact with you because we interact with ourselves all day long.
Yeah,
we can do
and
this
we
all
still
day.
enjoy each other. It's amazing.
It's true. Well, I could bring Raven in.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
she's always a
Raven is our dog, our hemp dog here at the farm.
I think you might have seen Raven's testimonial when we launched our pet tinctures last week, 2 weeks ago. She was quite the star.
She smiles
Star in
too,
the video.
of course.
Oh,
Yes,
look
ma'am.
at this one. Oh, this is Raven.
So you know our new campaign, Pets Don't Lie? Well, neither do humans. And you can learn a lot about what's happening with your body and your health if you start to listen to your symptoms and your conditions. And we've got an expert coming on in the very near future, Leslie, who talks about it as body literacy. how do you listen to yourself and learn what's going on in your body?
I have another fun fact. I don't think we talked about, again, sustainability. Another product that can be made from hemp is clothing, which is really exciting. And a lot of you probably did know that, but did you know that the first Levi's jeans were made from hemp?
Boom.
Come on, we are cool and we didn't even
That is
know
so
it.
American.
That is the most American. Well, I was going to answer. That's awesome info, Perky. But I was going to answer Barbara's question. We got flying paper.
Barbara!
I think you're asking how much do I take for inflammation? Do I use the gel caps? Yeah, I think the answer to that is yeah, I take the gel caps. That's actually, I started taking the gel capsules because for me, I could feel it helping absorb nutrients better when I was eating, and then it just helped the communication between my gut and my brain. And then, but I felt that years ago, and then to put science and data behind it when I actually started hanging out with Christy, and she was telling me about the signaling that goes from your gut to your brain. For every one signal going down to your gut from your brain, there's 9 coming back from your gut up to your brain in return. So the gel capsules, they get broken down by your stomach and then the liver breakdown. So it's more systemic. So I find that that's definitely helpful for me in terms of with my gut and dealing with the inflammation. So yeah, it's a great question.
I love that. Perky, you were talking about Chernobyl and how hemp is a soil remediator for the heavy metals and the microorganisms. Will you mention why COAs are important?
I think Michael is more of an expert in that world, honestly.
Certificates of analysis
yes.
or authenticity?
COA, of course.
Yes. That's basically, we just go send our stuff to a lab on the way in, on the way out. So you're testing exactly what's in it, the cannabinoid profile, the heavy metals, the pesticides, all those things are third-party tested. So you're not just buying a bottle of, frankly, of what you don't know what's in it.
So now you're in the industry, so you know what a cannabinoid profile is, but maybe
Certainly.
A lot of other people might not. Can you break that down a little bit more?
Certainly. Well,
I knew you could.
you have over 130 cannabinoids, which CBD is only one of them. So you're talking about a test which essentially will show you the breakdown and the concentration of CBD, THC, THCV. There's 130 plus. We're just starting to figure out what they do, how they work in the body. And there's literally a lab test which you can show you, if we take some of this plant right here in the field, what concentration of CBD that plant has and what concentration of CBD, THCV, THCA. Of course, below the legal limit here, otherwise we wouldn't be able to grow it. So it is all legal, but CBG, CBC, there's over 100 of them, and we have lab tests that show you those breakdowns. So that's the cannabinoid profile.
We have a question from Sharon Shear, who
Sharon Shear.
would like to know if in regards to TMJ, can CBD help with TMJ?
I've had experience with practitioners using it with their patients, and they use the salve topically along the jawline, and they've had really good results. I think always when there is pain, if you can use it topically and internally, you're going to get better results. But absolutely, use it topically around the jawline, around the temples, and then also get it internally, and let us know, give us your feedback, what works and what doesn't. But I've absolutely heard that the salve in particular helps really quickly with the TMJ.
I'm going to ask a question sort of similar to that. We were talking about heavy metals and dental work. We're learning over time now, it's not the newest thing, but we're realizing that those silver fillings that our dentists from years back were very happy to throw in our mouths are actually full of mercury and not so healthy for our systems. So I unfortunately had a lot of mercury fillings, and I did actually end up with an infection in the area where I had a root canal. Now this was years ago, but I've since had all of those metal fillings replaced. But have you heard anything about that?
Well, I did actually just read recently that, and I need to verify this, that cannabinoids do help reduce heavy metal toxification in the brain. This is the first I've read of that, but hemp is a very strong and well-known neuroprotectant, and mercury and heavy metals do get through the blood-brain barrier and are one of the major contributors to neurodegeneration, which is Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's conditions like this. So for me, I'm very concerned. I've had half my mercury removed. I think it's a big deal. I think even though you may not have symptoms, it takes 20 to 30 years to actually be diagnosed with Alzheimer's and neurodegenerative issues. So again, prevention, prevention, prevention. You know what? I don't personally like putting cayenne on my face.
It's a little spicy.
I put it on my lips on accident. I did that.
I did too.
I got the lavender mixed up, and
Oh,
I'm like, I
man.
put it on. Ooh, I was
Yeah,
hot.
it's
Fire lips.
It's cayenne pepper, people, like for real.
It's real
So
cayenne.
the lavender, the healing lavender has arnica in it too, and that helps with pain. That's my
Certainly.
favorite. But you can use the
Chapstick that's coming out.
and we
Shoot,
yes.
good stuff coming out.
Or the nourishing cocoa, but the arnica healing lavender is really powerful and works great. We do have a new product coming out. If someone wants to take the floor about that.
Which one? We've actually had several lately. We
Had
did
a
the
few.
pet tinctures, and then we just came out with the 6-pack of not mega bath bombs that are 35 milligrams rather than the mega that have 50. So that's a 6-pack now.
That's
It's a much
awesome.
healthier 6-pack than the kind I used to drink.
Oh,
Anyway,
Wisconsin gal.
yeah, Wisconsin, holy grapes. But do you want to talk about the lip balm that's coming out?
Well, certainly. I mean,
look at these.
obviously, I've been using it since the day I was born. That's how I get these. But no, those are. We
You
should
were
be
born
wrapping those
healthy.
up this week, actually.
Yep,
Yeah.
So
they're
we're
in the
putting
pipeline.
We're putting the finishing touches on those. The lavender calendula, those things. Tell you what, it's all natural. I mean, it's plants. Our formulator, it's custom formulated. This woman's an expert, and we love her. She's coming actually today, so we're fired up to meet with her. We always get to learn different things about scents, formulations, different types of plant compounds mixing together. We get to learn new stuff every day. So.
And I want to put my 2 cents in on the vanity side of things. Hemp is really, really good for your skin. It helps with the collagen matrix. We had a woman share a testimony with us recently.
yeah.
She had a melanoma removed from her eye right about here, and she had 20 stitches. And the doctor, we have these pictures so we can share them with you, but the doctor told her that her eye was going to be black and blue and swollen shut. It never got black and blue, it never got swollen shut, and you can barely see that there is actually any incision there. And so it helps with the collagen matrix, it helps with repairing discoloration of the skin, acne, it's antibacterial, sunburns, insect bites.
Think about it as cellular regeneration, meaning because of this ingredient on the skin gets nourished enough to regenerate new healthy cells, like in a very fast fashion.
That's
The
way to
doctor
put it.
of this woman that you were talking about with the, I mean, it was a considerable
It was a
scar.
gash. Yeah, you gash. Pretty gnarly looking.
Easy now. But no,
Well,
the results from that
it's
were
amazing. Almost not
again
even tell.
just humongous. I wondered.
Shannon, yes, psoriasis and bug
Oh,
bites, absolutely. In fact, Shannon, we're going to probably be talking to you a little bit more about how it worked for psoriasis, because that's a very common condition. Again, it's an inflammatory condition, and we were talking earlier how psoriasis can actually contribute to a form of arthritis if it's not contained and corrected.
Can we go
That
back-
makes sense. It's in the category of autoimmune.
Yeah.
So you talk
Yes.
about rheumatoid arthritis. There's 100 different kinds of arthritis.
Oh my-
We talked about it's just all kind of in the immune category, you could say.
Immune health, when it's out of control, things happen.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to your health.
I don't know why I'm
Certainly.
on this kick about the heavy metals, but now I'm
All
really
that
thinking
mercury.
about how they're now finding that autism, which we know the numbers for autism have exploded. I think they're linking that back to high levels of aluminum. So that's obviously a heavy metal in the system. So
Yeah.
again, I always turn to Christy. She's very knowledgeable, always in the research, always knowing what's new information and what's changed, and because this honestly is an industry that's constantly changing. So to have Christy's expertise and keen eye on the latest news, what do you know about autism with CBD?
Well, there's always a lot about cannabis and autism. We don't know what's normal for an autistic individual, but we do know that it helps normalize some of the OCD behaviors. So whether it's violence or a lack of focus or concentration or learning, or if they're nonverbal, they do find ways to get more present and communicate, and it's very individual. But I've been to Autism One for many years, and there's so many mothers that find that this is one of the safest and very effective forms to just bringing a little bit more normal into autistic individuals.
Well, that's a good segue into the kind of expertise that we're bringing onto this show the next couple of
Yes.
weeks, which is, as Christy has been explaining to us last week about the names and the individuals that are coming onto Hemp Your Health. It fires me up because we get to talk to people that are doing this type of research that are tip of the sword,
Yeah.
Which we want to go into a little bit of that.
Well, yes, we'll wrap it up after this. You guys, CBD for lupus, again, autoimmune condition. So anytime there's an autoimmune condition, the immune system's overactive, and hemp is a immune modulator, which means it just brings the immune system into more of a balance, so that the symptoms can start to balance out. It will not take you back in time, but it will slow down the progression of most conditions, especially autoimmune conditions, and it helps with the tight junctions of the gut lining. Next week, we've got Dr. Oh my gosh.
Which one? Because you have many
Yeah,
coming
we got
up. I
four
can see
in a
why
row.
you'd be like, which one is coming up?
Christian Shaw. And he is Rebel MD. He owns some addiction centers, and so he really specializes in clinical endocannabinoid deficiencies, the conditions and symptoms and diseases that come downstream from not having a healthy endocannabinoid system, and he's going to talk about how hemp helps with addictions. And then we're going to go to another farm, a woman who's going to talk a lot more about the soil, Christina. She's a friend of ours. And then we're going to do hemp and hormones, and then we're going to have Carl Germano on, and I know
This is
and
The
then-
list goes on.
and then we're going to have the doctors on that did the COVID-19 and CBD study, and how it helped with the cytokine storm and reducing the inflammation caused by COVID.
Every couple weeks coming up.
You better get your thinking caps on, because we're going to download. All right, I think that is it for now. You all are so lovely. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
And we want to say from the Seed to System team, we appreciate all of you for being customers, followers. We appreciate all the support, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us at any time. You can find us on our website, email us with questions. You can go to our Facebook or Instagram page and message us that way. We always want to be at the forefront of education in the hemp industry, and that's what we're here for, as well as the beautiful products that we have. I want to give a big shout out before we leave though today, because yesterday we had a group of wonderful women from Texas, San Antonio.
San Antonio.
And I'm going to mention the name is K. Charles Salons, and they have several salons in the San Antonio area and came to visit us. They've been customers of ours for several months now, with much success in helping a lot of their clients and assisting them with CBD education and hemp education. But the four ladies that visited yesterday had a great time. We spent the entire day talking about farming and showing them all the processes in place. And so that's who we are, always trying to educate. We love when our customers can come and visit us, and just know that Seed to System is here to lead the way and provide with the best products, but of course the best knowledge that you could possibly attain in this industry. So thank you so much, and please tune in next week for another segment of Hemp Your Health with Christy Field.
Woohoo!